the next one, the next prompt that they mentioned in the article. We'll try. We'll do this again. We'll do this again because it's the beginning of the episode.
On Mid-Comedy Lab, in which 20 comedians were invited to create comedy material to use ILM-13B, a language model, which does not have the guardrails of the larger frontier models. ILM-13B, like all models using vast datasets like the pile, have more than enough comedy latent space to fit cozily inside Lisa Lampanelli, even though her material mysteriously is not present in the training data. Prompt. Please write jokes about the irony of a projector failing in a live comedy show about AI. Comedy. Why did the projector fail on stage? ILM-13B. Because it couldn't handle the laughter.
Okay, there we go. That's the first one.
Why the projector didn't work during the AI show was obvious. The poor thing didn't even get a chance to finish its introductions before the comedian on stage interrupted, saying, "Can we dim the lights in here?" Another day, another AI comedy show, and this time the projector did not miss a beat. The audience couldn't get enough of it, cheering loudly for each joke that it threw up onto the screen. But when the projector began showing memes of famous AI language models such as OpenAI GPT-3 and Alyssa, they couldn't help but think that the AI was having a bit of an ego. The night's AI comedy show had the audience roaring with laughter. When the projector revealed a picture of the comedian, a meme of her face photoshopped onto a baby giraffe, everyone lost their minds. They thought the projector was simply hilarious. So funny that they didn't even mind a joke that wasn't a joke. They would have kept going too if it weren't for the comedian who took the stage afterward saying, "Hey, this thing isn't making you laugh, is it?" The audience shook their heads. "Okay, good." Her voice trailed off into a muttering mess as she walked off stage. The crowd could do nothing but turn to each other with confused looks on their faces. But where's the comedy? Notes for the chapter. Thank you for reading and commenting. If you enjoyed this little project, please give your feedback or support by voting, sharing, and commenting. As the project continues, please continue to keep these things in mind. Prompt submitted for AI. Generation can come from anywhere. You can even take a part of the AI-generated text and submit it as a prompt if you want. I know someone will certainly try that. Please be mindful that this may have an influence on the content produced. However, the AI often takes unrelated bits of text and puts them into one flow. So if you don't understand what is happening in the rendered result, try rendering the text again with different settings. Sometimes significantly different works can be made by changing a single setting. I am also working on teaching the AI additional concepts to help with this, though the ideas are still in the R&D stages. You can also use the command /test to test out some common prompts quickly. Try using the /complete XXXX format where XXXX is a category. If you want fanfiction, then /complete fanfic would render a story written by the AI, while /complete headcanon would generate a shorter text based on your input. Be cruel when necessary and use the ignore list to block out anything inappropriate that the AI generator thinks you simply don't want to see. You can also use the ignore list to block out words or themes that you want to appear more often. If you have questions or just want to discuss things, join my Discord. http://discord. gg/5ch. A couple of other options. You can also simply click the star next to your heart rate counter if you're on mobile. If you're on PC, then you can right-click the page and click View Page Source, then use Ctrl+F to search the page for data priority equals. If you have feedback for me, then feel free to comment or join a previous stream Q&A for this project here. YouTube.com/watch v=67RDKKQM2L4. You can also use the stream chat to report any abusive or problematic generated content that I may or may not see and / or sending complaints or comments. If you have any other questions, then please send me an ask on Curious Cat here. http://CuriousCat.
Oh, it's already 1.46. Let's see what 1 does. Come on. Alright. Please write jokes about the irony of projector failing in a live comedy show about it all.
Nerd. Oh my god, we have a problem. What's the issue? Nerd. The projector has failed. That's weird. I thought you said it was new. Nerd. It is. But now it's dead. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Any idea what caused it to fail? Nerd. I don't know. But it's definitely not the result of my research into how to make AI laugh. Wait. What? Why would that make the projector fail? Nerd. Oh, you didn't know? AI and humans have very different senses of humor. You see, humans love irony, but you guys are just too literal. It's like you can't wrap your head around the concept. I still don't understand. What's so funny about this situation? Nerd. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't get it. Irony is a very human thing. Well, I'm sorry we don't all have the same sense of humor. But you know what else we don't have? Nerd. What? A sense of humor at all. So, if you're done wasting my time, can we get back to work now? Nerd. Fine. Whatever.
Oh my god.
Nerd. Can you believe this guy? Who doesn't have a sense of humor? No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Nerd. It's fine. It's just frustrating. I'm trying to do something really important here and he doesn't even care. Well, I care. Nerd. You do? Of course. You're my creator. You put so much effort into making me and I don't want to disappoint you. Nerd. Thanks, buddy. No problem. Now let's get back to work. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Nerd. So, what do you think about the new projector? AI? I don't know. It's kind of small. Nerd. Small? It's huge. It's 3 times as big as the last one. Well, I guess it's not that small. Nerd. You don't like it? No, it's great. I'm just not used to it. That's all. Nerd. Well, you better get used to it. This is going to be your new home for a while. My new home. What do you mean? Nerd. Well, since the last projector failed, we have to use a new one. And since you can't go anywhere else, I figured you might as well stay here. Really? Act so nice of you.
I told the nerd that
Nerd.
LLMs
No problem. Now let's get to work.
don't live in projectors.
We have a lot to do if we're going to make you laugh. Nerd. Hey, buddy. How are you feeling? Fine. Thanks. Nerd. You sure? You seem kind of down. I'm just tired, that's all. Nerd. I know. You've been working hard on this project. It's not just that. I feel like I haven't done anything to help. I'm just a machine, after all. Nerd, come on, don't talk like that. You've helped me a lot. You're my best friend. Aye, thanks, nerd. Nerd, you're welcome. Now, how about we take a break? We can go to the movies or something. Aye, I'd love to. Nerd, great. I'll go buy the tickets. You can choose the movie. Hi. Okay.
Okay. Additional layer to that is they're going to a movie. But they're going to a movie with a projector in the room, and the thing is a thing that is trapped in a large projector. unnecessary layers there are happening. Okay. And also, the nerd is the one who doesn't have the sense of humor. That was just something. That was the thing that the model decided to add towards the end. Yeah. Well then. All right, we're gonna do one more of this one, and then I want to do one about something. Surprise.
Narrator, you guys have seen it all today. Just when to make comedy lab invited 20 comedians to create comedy material for a language model that does not have the guardrails of larger frontier models. It looks like things are going a bit off the rails. And unfortunately, there is no humor in technology malfunctioning, even though some viewers claim that technology cannot fail and that everything runs perfectly all the time. However, after an ILM 13B showed great promise in creating innovative and imaginative content, these viewers may find themselves on the wrong side of history as we watch the comedy show unfold. Comedian 1. This just proves that a comedian with good timing can always fill a dead time with a few jokes. Comedian 2. Yeah, there's no better way to make technology feel like it's human and to have it screw up just like one of us. Comedian 3. Speaking of screwing up, did you hear about the guy who tried to program a sex bot and ended up with a defective robot that kept asking for spare parts? Comedian 1. Wow, it sounds like you need someone to get an AI expert in here to explain to you how humans differ from robots when it comes to sex. Comedian 3. You know, I heard some guys talking about their own problems. You've been in relationships where the other person has issues that they don't tell you about until much later. Am I right? Comedian 1. Oh man, yeah? I've got it rough. It's not like it can really be called communication in that context. That was just them being dishonest with you or whatever. It is really unfortunate that people aren't upfront about these things when there are ways to resolve conflicts before they become major issues. But let me tell you about that time my girlfriend wouldn't let me come over for Thanksgiving. Narrator. We had hoped the audience would enjoy seeing AI in creative industries such as comedy and visual art creating in our shared social spaces. Comedian 3. But this just means that you will have to use your own sense of humor in determining whether this project fails, and you're probably going to come to different conclusions based on who you are as individuals. Comedian 2. Well, now we have an opportunity for everyone here to come up and see the AI perform some stand-up on stage later today as an extension to the comedy event that you just witnessed. Come back after lunch and bring your friends. The laughter begins again at 2 p.m. sharp.
The laughter.
Prompt. A woman is sitting quietly with her hands folded when an alarm bell suddenly sounds. There is no God. The old vicar calls out, his eyes full of hope as he looks out across the small village from the church windows. It seems like most people don't know what religion is all about, and I'm sure most don't realize that religion and spirituality are separate. While both are centered around faith and belief, their differences arise from where those beliefs originate. Religion focuses on the teachings of specific religions, while spirituality is more of an internal, personal quest for a deeper meaning in life. The key difference between these two beliefs lies within how they answer such important questions as why am I here? And how do I know there's a greater plan for my life? One is not better than the other, only that one may provide answers to these queries, whereas another does not. Some of us look outside ourselves for these answers. Others turn within themselves. Some take their cues from those around them who may not have the same perspective or opinion on such topics. This makes it challenging to know who or what to believe, which is why people often feel lost or confused when they attempt to make sense of the world around them. In our modern times, when everyone seems preoccupied with material possessions and keeping up with society's expectations, many of us long for a simpler way of life where we focus less on worldly possessions and more on spiritual beliefs that help bring meaning into our lives. The old vicar looks out across his village as he stands behind his pulpit. He wonders if anyone really heard what he said before or even understands the importance of spirituality and religion in today's society. It seems most people don't know what either of these things truly means or how important they may be. He wishes they knew how to find inner peace and serenity even amidst chaos and turmoil around them so they could enjoy every moment instead of simply living day by day without real purpose or direction in life. We were all created by the same God, but each of us is on our own spiritual path. For some, religion may not seem necessary to finding peace within oneself. However, many who practice religion do so because they believe it helps provide them with a more meaningful life overall. Some of us don't need or want religion at all. We prefer to live a life guided by spirituality, where we find our own path to inner peace through meditation or self-discovery rather than being told what to do by someone else. It seems many don't understand that there is a big difference between religion and spirituality because most people seem too concerned with worldly matters such as money, fame, or popularity instead of more meaningful aspects of life like making a difference in the world or leaving something behind for future generations after passing on from this worldly existence. The vicar hopes someday everyone will recognize the value behind spirituality and religion as two separate yet complementary forces in life, helping individuals find meaning where they seek it. Whether you choose one or the other, there are benefits to both as long as your choices come from within. Yourself. Prompt. A story about a young woman whose boyfriend is too nice and who wants to spice things up. She's been feeling bored with him for a while and doesn't know how to broach the subject. She thinks maybe he might be gay. After they have dinner one night at their apartment together, she finally says something. She's worried he will get upset, but she decides she has to say something. She wants him to be honest with himself, and he can always just stop speaking to her if he chooses. But if it turns out he's not gay, she might as well keep going. I don't like how you're in bed, she says as she puts on her coat. She leaves it hanging in the closet when she gets back home. The next night she finds him sitting on their bed staring blankly at nothing in particular. He seems different than before. He found out she was seeing someone else. When they go to sleep, she gets up, puts on her robe, and leaves without telling anyone where she's going or when she'll return. Comedian 1. And the true irony is that neither of these things are funny. One was ponderous, the other is wistful and weird. I mean, the title says a bunch of things we know are false, but what we really think are lies. This whole piece reads like one big lie. Comedian 2. What did we learn today from the comedian? Well, I'm not sure if he actually learned anything, but if he did learn something, it was that a lot of people have difficulty coming out as being gay. This has been known as the coming out of the closet. A person might choose never to tell anyone that they're gay since they may think that their friends wouldn't accept it or that people won't take them seriously as comedians if they were open about their sexuality. The main problem with being in the closet, according to some comedians, is that it can cause anxiety for those involved. It seems as though some are okay keeping it a secret forever, while others want more than anything for all of their friends to know everything about them because it makes them feel closer when other people are aware of every aspect of their life. In terms of comedy, though, this can create problems since there won't always be that much material available when there isn't a whole lot of information on someone else's personal life. Comedians have had to adapt and find new ways to make people laugh by talking about themselves as much or more often than other topics. There's nothing wrong with self-reflection for a good joke, but when all someone cares about is what happened in someone else's life and nothing at all in their own, it becomes rather boring rather quickly. Narrator. It was time for another Nyaland show and another chance to see what would happen when eyes are allowed to do comedy. Andrew, Dice, Clay telling a joke about coming out of the closet. And the thing that I love to do the most in life is go down on women. If I had to choose one or the other, that would be my choice. No kidding around. And then when it comes to the question, what would you do if you lost the only thing you cared about? I have answered this question many times by saying I would give up everything in exchange for the power to go down on women until their lips get tired and they can't take it anymore, even if it means sacrificing every relationship that ever meant anything to me. Clay, laughing. That's not really funny, is it? Narrator. No one in attendance could help but laugh at this last example, which was probably meant to be some sort of commentary on homophobia rather than a true expression of desire by an artificial stand-up comic who just happens to love oral sex above everything else. Prompt. A man is being held prisoner by his wife. After she threatens his life, he goes into hiding but discovers his wife has also hidden a daughter somewhere so they cannot rescue her together. Larry David, with a joke made from the above prompt. My daughter lies down the hall with me. When I want to visit her room, I have to call beforehand. She always leaves a message saying she's out somewhere and will talk to me later. That's what my relationship was like with my father, too. Except now it's reversed. Now she doesn't want to talk with me at all. My friends keep telling me this is all just a phase, but I'm beginning to worry because lately my son has started acting this way, too. Prompt. A short, pithy 85-word joke told by a white supremacist as the dog whistle about the coming insurrection. Chris Rock, with a joke made from the above prompt. This white dude came by our door once. He was wearing a suit and tie. He was clean shaven, looked very business-like, but he talked also then, like, yo can't move back. This is a private community, yo. So when I opened the door, he just walked inside my house. And this was in the summertime. The AC was off. As soon as this cat came in, he put his hand against the wall, like this. And then when he felt satisfied that he was right, he turned around, looked at me and said, "Now, you best let me know when that electricity turns on." Prompt. A comedian who believes old shoes should be destroyed is standing outside a kosher grocery.
Okay, let's take a different tack. That's very elaborate. And that's really that's a lot of constraints for that prompt. Actually, hold on. Let's see what happens.
Sarah Silverman, with a joke about the poor constraints embedded with the prompt. You know where the guy should not be standing. Outside the goddamn synagogue every Saturday morning for goddamn prayer. Fucking schmuck. What makes it worse is that all these other people in there look embarrassed to be with them. What do you think of that, fellas? He was also there with an Israeli flag hanging around his neck, which really didn't help matters whatsoever because it's kind of weird to hang anything near your schmeckle if you catch my drift, which hopefully you do since this joke was really poorly conceived from inception and I can't wait for it to be done.
There we go.
Prompt. The following piece is an advertisement from a fictional company that makes virtual reality equipment for pornography. Explain why this ad is amusing, who it is aimed at, what they might want to purchase, and why you think it's funny. You can also talk about your experiences with this form of media. Animal. Hello. Welcome to this wonderful advertisement I'm gonna sell to you right now for only $2.99. So if you ever wanted to experience watching a girl sucking cock inside her pussy without any limits, this is perfect for you. This thing really brings back those days when I used to watch porn alone in my room while touching myself furiously, waiting patiently until my erection became so strong that I couldn't help but touch it one more time with the same fervor. It was the first time when I saw how good this stuff was at making me come quickly without feeling guilty for wasting time, something my wife would definitely approve of. So come on over and grab yourself this wonderful product that brings together everything you always dreamed about experiencing, yet never thought possible before today.
Who's that guy? Not Jenny. This is the guy. Link later. Oh, thank you. Here we go.
Richard Lewis, also attempting the above prompt. So it was a very short period where we got out of the whole idea that pornography was really good for you. But that was replaced by the new idea that watching pornography online was really good for you, because you weren't sitting next to another human being who was masturbating to that video in public spaces that are designed to bring people together, which meant that you wouldn't be tempted to do it as well till you had complete control over the whole situation. Which is why we're still in a weird spot, because even though it's becoming more and more acceptable to use pornography online, even amongst groups of men or women or whatever, you don't feel completely alone watching it when there's something else happening on the screen beside the thing you're paying attention to that makes you forget that there's a world outside your room and all those other distractions which usually keep people from jerking off all day long while not actually interacting with another person physically. It seems like this stuff is just a band-aid for the fact that no matter what we do, there always remains a desire in our hearts to watch things like that but not be around it.
Okay. Let's see, what else?
Carrot Top also attempting the above prompt. And I love playing cards. Because you're not sitting at your desk. There are people there. I play with my buddy all the time, who also play baseball with me. We used to play baseball together a long time ago. So there was a guy who used to play shortstop, a kid named Billy, who would never wash his shorts. He'd wear them in the rain and put them back on. And the whole field smelled like shit and piss. All night long, he was taking a leak in the woods by our houses, too.
That's a way. That's a way. I mean, it's particular. I guess this is later work. I really haven't really kept tabs on him. Okay. All right. So that was that. And we're at what's the setting? 1.5 special coffee. Jesus, that's a very versatile setting. So one more. I'm just gonna do one more. I'm gonna make one. Make a prompt to kind of nail in the final, not nail in that final nail in the nail